in the media conference with Lal Goyal, which is brought to you by V4 News, Global TV, V4 Stream, V4 Stream, मलनाडु टीवी इंडिया न्यूज गांव से, संवाद सरोकार न्यूज, ऑर्गन डोनेशन इंडिया फाउंडेशन, ज्ञान एंड भारत न्यूज पोस्ट. Our endeavor is to enlighten you with the current topic, and today's our topic is not only current, but it's bit sensational, bit hot, and the topic is Ram Janambhoomi land deal. राम नाम की लूट है, लूट सके तो लूट, अंत समय पछताएगा जब प्राण जाएंगे छूट. Ram Janambhoomi is the site that is believed to be the birthplace of Lord Ram, the seventh avatar of the Hindu deity Vishnu. The Ramayana states that the location of Ram's birthplace is on the banks of Saryu River in a city called Ayodhya. The political, historical, and socio-religious debate over the history and location of the Babri Mosque and whether a previous temple was demolished or modified to create it is known as the Ayodhya dispute. The 5 judges Supreme Court bench heard the title dispute case from August to October 2019, day to day. Otherwise, earlier the case was filed long ago. On 9th November 2019, the Supreme Court ordered the land to be handed over to a trust to build the Hindu temple. It also ordered to the government to give alternate 5 acres land to Sunni Waqf Board to build the mosque. On 5th February 2020, the trust known as Sri Ram Janambhoomi Tirth Kshetra was created by the government of India. The trust will oversee the construction of the Ram Mandir. The trust was awarded the disputed 2.77 acre land as well as the 67.703 acre land acquired under the acquisition of certain area at Ayodhya Act 1993 following the Supreme Court verdict in this regard. The trust have 15 members, of which 9 are permanent and 6 are nominated members, with each members must be a practicing Hindu. Mahant Nitya Gopal Das Maharaj, President, Swami Govind Dev Giriji Maharaj, Treasurer, Shri Champat Rai, General Secretary, Shri K. Parasaran, Senior Advocate, Shri Nipendra Mishra, IAS, Swami Vasudevanand Saraswati Ji Maharaj, Member, Swami Vishwa Parasnath Raji Maharaj, Yug Purush Paramanand Giriji Maharaj, Shri Vimlendra Mohan Pratap Mishra, Dr. Anil Mishra, he is a homeopathy doctor, Kameshwar Chaupal, Mahant Devendra Das Ji, Shri Gyanesh Kumar, IAS, Additional Secretary of Home Ministry, Shri Avinish Avasthi, IAS, Additional Chief Secretary of Uttar Pradesh Government, Shri Anuj Jha, IAS, Ex-Officio Trustee and Collector and DM Ayodhya, erstwhile Faizabad. So these were the 5 trustees who were being taken by the Ayodhya Trust, the Ram Janambhoomi Trust. Shri Ram Janambhoomi Tirth Kshetra Trust began first phase of construction of the Ram Temple on March 2020. The Indian Prime Minister, Honorable Shri Narendra Modi Ji, performed Bhumi Pujan and laid the foundation stone of the Ram Temple in Ayodhya on August 5th, 2020. The total cost of constructing the Ram Temple complex at Ayodhya will be about rupees 1,100 crores, including about rupees 300 to 400 crores to be spent on the temple itself. A total of rupees approximately 3,200 crores was collected through people's donation for the construction of the Ram Temple. This figure is up to March, so we cannot vouch whether this figure, how much this figure has increased after the March. As per the sources, the trust wants to expand the project to 107 acres from the present 70 acres, and it still has to acquire 14,30,195 square feet of land to achieve the target. The main temple will be constructed on 5 acres only of the land, and the remaining land will be used to develop various facilities, including a museum and a library. The trust that is constructed a grand temple for Lord Ram has paid 1 crore for 7,285 square feet land to its owner at a rate of 1,373 rupees per square feet in the first transaction. According to trustee Mr. Anil Mishra, we have purchased the land as we need more space for the Ram temple. The land purchased by the trust is located next to the Asharfi Bhavan. Its owner, Mr. Deep Narayan, signed a registry deed for the 7,285 square feet land in favor of Champat Rai, the secretary of the trust, on February 20th, with Anil Mishra and Apnadal MLA Indra Pratap Tiwari as witness. One more land deal in Ayodhya is registered with number 243, 244, and 246. Its value was rupees 5.80 crore official value. It was purchased from Kusum Pathak and Harish Pathak by Sultan Ansari and Ravi Mohan Tiwari for rupees 2 crore only. The purchase had 2 witnesses, Anil Mishra and a member of the Ram Janambhoomi Trust, and Rishikesh Upadhyay, who is the mayor of Ayodhya. It was purchased at 7:10 p.m. In the next 5 minutes, the same land was bought by Ram Janambhoomi Trust, and Mr. Champat Rai, the secretary of the trust, paid for rupees. It was purchased for rupees 18.5 crores from Ansari and Tiwari. Rupees 17 crores was transferred through RTGS. Within 5 minutes, the 2 crores land, which was registered by the sub-registrar office at Ayodhya, has again been registered for 18.5 crores. 2 opposition parties of Uttar Pradesh on Sunday, not this Sunday, the before, accused the Ram Mandir Trust set up by the center last year of pulling off an illicit land deal in Ayodhya. The temple trust has also said that the land is situated at a prime location and the price at which it was bought was much less than the actual market rate in Ayodhya. It means the 18.5 crore which has been paid for the land which was purchased 2 crore is far less. It should be about 30 or 40 or 50 crore whatsoever, but it is 18.5 crore is quite less. The Samajwadi Party and the Aam Aadmi Party claim the transaction took place in March this year. It involved 2 real estate dealers allegedly purchasing a property from an individual for rupees 2 crores and selling it minutes later to the trust for rupees 18.5 crores, according to the allegation. The temple body has brushed the charge aside as frivolous. The allegations are significant as the Ram temple in Ayodhya is an emotive issue in Uttar Pradesh, where elections are due next year. Mr. Pandey, who highlighted this deal in public domain, said, I quote, it is his quote, it's not my quote. Crores of people gave donations to the Ram Temple Trust. They dug into their savings to donate. If this is what you do to their money, then this is an insult to the 120 crore people of the country, unquote. Similar allegations were made at a separate press conference by AAP leader and Rajya Sabha member Sanjay Singh. Mr. Champat Rai, Secretary of Trust, claimed that the original buyers of the property had entered into an agreement with the owners years ago for the price applicable at that time. In March, they formalized it at the same rate and then sold the property to the temple trust at the current market price. Mr. Rai also said it was important to acquire some properties adjacent to the east and west side of the Ram temple complex to create easy access for pilgrims. He underlined the Uttar Pradesh government has also been acquiring land in Ayodhya for development work, and so property prices have gone up in the town. The particular property in question is located at a very prominent spot close to Ayodhya railway station, as per the statement from the trust. He claimed that all transactions by the temple trust are online and transparent and done with prior approval between both the parties. One more document revealed that the same couple, Harish and Kusum Pathak, had also sold 1.037 hectare plot. That is, I think, about 2 0.6 acre land approximately to the temple trust for rupees 8 crores. There has been no trace of the Pathak couple since the controversy broke, adding to the intrigue. The AAP MP added that the members of the trust have said that they were not informed about the land acquisition. Singh has filed complaint against 9 people under sections 34, 119, 120, 169, 202, 403, 405, 409, 420, 423, 466, and 120B of the Indian Penal Code IPC at the Kotwali police station in Ayodhya. Ayodhya Mayor Rishikesh Upadhyay, trust members Anil Kumar Mishra, Champat Rai, Harish Pathak, Kusum Pathak, Sultan Ansari, SP Singh, and Deep Narayan Upadhyay were among the 9 accused named in the complaint. He further said that even though the alleged corruption in the land deal is in the public eye, where are all the investigation agencies and why are they not acting? The Ram Janambhoomi Tirth Kshetra Trust General Secretary Mr. Champat Rai has, however, dismissed the allegations, calling them politically motivated. On June 21st, official in Ayodhya District's land records department gathered around a table with battered registers and old maps. They had been asked by District Magistrate Mr. Anuj Kumar Jha to trace the ownership of land number 135. 890 square meters of this property were bought for rupees 20 lakh by the same Mr. Deep Narayan, nephew of Ayodhya's BJP Mayor Rishikesh Upadhyay, in February this year, and sold to the Ram Janambhoomi Trust for rupees 2.5 crore in May. After leafing through the registers for hours, the officials told Jha, himself a member of the Temple Trust, that the land is owned by the government. A report prepared by the department said a Mahant named Vishwanath Prasadacharya had the tenancy of the land, but he does not have the right to sell this land. The late Vishwanath Prasadacharya was the guru of Devendra Prasadacharya, who sold the land to Narayan in February. The property, which is adjacent to the purported Ram Janambhoomi, is located in Kot Ramchandra in the district's Sadar Tehsil. Several saints in Ayodhya are now demanding a CBI probe into the fraud. Allegations against the Ram Janambhoomi Trust, among them are 3 who were party to the Ram Janambhoomi land dispute case: Mahant Dharam Das, the head of the Nirvani Akhada; Mahant Suresh Das, chief of the Digambar Akhada; and Mahant Sitaram Das of the Nirmohi Akhada. Speaking to the media in Ayodhya, Mahant Dharam Das alleged that donations were misused by the trust. He said, I quote, again his quote I am quoting, "This trust is corrupt. Those who form this trust have their own vested interests. That is very why a big scam is happening. People have donated money for the Ram temple, the service of saints and Gau Mata. The money is not for buying land, building hotels, and doing business. Those who are doing such things don't believe in Lord Ram," unquote. Now, one more land deal which has been highlighted by the newspaper called Sandhya Dainik 4 PM, which I cannot vouch because it has come in the newspaper. I received it yesterday only. It says in Hindi, Ram नाम की लूट, अब स्टेशन मास्टर ने भी बेच दी अयोध्या में करोड़ों की जमीन. Or according to this news, there are 11 crore land they are selling to the trust for 200 crores, where the station master's son is involved. But this land deal has not yet taken place. It is in the process. They have included some stamp papers in this newspaper has printed, but we cannot vouch. So I cannot say whether this deal has executed or it is in the process to be executed. But this is a very big deal because 11 crores for 200 crores to the trust. Now, to discuss the legalities of this particular deal, whether it is legal and all the allegations by the opposition parties are false, politically motivated, just to defame the Ram Janambhoomi Trust, or it is some McCree deal, something fishy, and what is the legal position in this. So we have a very elite panel with us. We have a legal luminary, and we also have a political analyst with us. So I would like to invite my first guest, and he is Advocate Ramesh Kumar Sharma. Advocate Ramesh Kumar Sharma is the chairman of Gyandeep Shiksha Bharati Senior Secondary School, Mathura. He is a leading lawyer of Western UP with more than 41 years of practice. He is regularly appearing in Supreme Court and different high courts, including Allahabad, Madhya Pradesh, Delhi, Andhra Pradesh high courts, etc. He is extensively practicing constitutional, civil, and taxation matters. He is also rendering social services. He is secretary of Kans Nikandan Trust, Mathura. He is founder secretary of Civil Lawyers Forum and president thereafter. He is trustee of Shri Krishna Gaushala Vrindavan. He is member of managing committee of Jawahar Vidyalaya Inter College, Mathura. He has been a member of Constitution Committee of Bar Association, Mathura. He was awarded Meghshyam Smriti Samman for social services in the field of the social welfare things. Now, welcome, Advocate Ramesh Kumar Sharma. Advocate Ramesh Kumar Sharma, so many allegations have come in forth, but we would like to know what is the legality. The documents have been shown by both the parties, and it has appeared in the all these things which I have mentioned today. I would like to make it very clear to the viewers. All material is available on Google. I have not created or manufactured anything from my side. So when everything is in the public domain, we would like to know what is the legality, whether the trust is on the strong foot, means they are clear that whatsoever deal they have done is totally transparent, or the allegations which had been leveled by the others. So what is the legality today, whether there are cases filed or not, whether any inquiries has been set up or not. So I would like to invite and ask your opinion for Ram Janam Bhoomi land deal. Advocate Ramesh Kumar Sharma, please.
Yeah, Mr. Goyal, first I'm thankful to you for having webinar on such an important hot topic. Actually, in media, the matter of difference in between the sale consideration or the value of the property has been highlighted. What I feel, the much more importance is with regard to the title of the land. Because of the title itself is defective and the persons selling the property are not having clear title. In spite of this fact, the property has been purchased by the Ram Mandir Trust and so much value has been given. This is quite surprising. The first property which you have also referred, that purchased from Devendra Prasadacharya and 20 lakh and sold to the trust for 2.5 crore. As per the media reports, this Devendra Prasadacharya has successfully said that the mayor of Ayodhya and his nephew Deep Narayan Upadhyay came to him to purchase this land, and he said that I have specifically told to them that I am not the owner of the property. I am having the possession of it. This is a government property. This is a Najul land. But they insisted that you execute the sale deed and we will look after the matter. You don't bother anything. So as I was getting a good amount, rupees 20 lakh for my possession only. So I executed the sale deed. This shows the actual intention. As per the government record also, the entire record has come into the media now, that actually it is a Najul land. It was not being owned by Devendra Prasadacharya or his guru. So no sale deed can be executed. He was not having the ownership right. But the trust has purchased the property without going through the title deeds, without getting it properly inspected. This is quite surprising. And this shows that someone is very much interested to purchase the land in a very good amount without going through the title deeds of the document. Why the trust has purchased the property then the person is having no title at all? If Devendra Prasadacharya has executed the sale deed in favor of this Harish Pathak etc., Deep Narayan Upadhyay, doesn't mean that Deep Narayan Upadhyay has become the owner. So this sale deed is absolutely without authority and void. And by way of this sale deed, trust does not get any ownership right at all. It is a Najul land. It is being owned by the government. Devendra Prasadacharya was having the possession. Only the possession can be handed over to the trust and not the ownership at all. So as the ownership is not there, now what the trust can do, either they can sue them, Deep Narayan Upadhyay, etc., that they have wrongly sold the property, recover their money, and they may try, if law permits, which I think doesn't permit, doesn't permits at all, to get it freehold from the government, because of an illegal occupant cannot be given a freehold property. If a lessee rights are there, then the lessees may be given a freehold right of the property. So this is yet to be seen, that what type of right the Devendra Prasadachar and his guru was having. But the another deal is quite surprising. The other deal, which was sale deed, were executing in two part, one in 18.5 crore, other is for 8 crore. This entire land was being owned initially by one Mr. Fakir Muhammad and his wife Bakhtar Bibi, long back. In 1924, these two persons executed a will. There were no sons and daughters of these persons, and they created a waqf of this property and donated this property to the waqf, and mentioned in that will that their family members shall be the mutawalli of this waqf. So this property was a waqf property, and up to 1994 there was no dispute, and up to about 70 years this waqf was working peacefully. The last mutawalli was Muhammad Alam. He died in 1994. Then dispute starts from here. After death of last mutawalli Muhammad Alam, his four sons applied for the mutation to get their name mutated in this with regard to this land in their personal capacity. Initially their name was mutated, but another person, namely Muhammad Aslam, he applied to the revenue authorities that the name of these four sons of Muhammad Alam has wrongly been mutated, and it is not a personal property, it is a waqf property created in 1924 by way of a registered deed of Fakir Muhammad and Bakhtar Bibi. Initially their name was deleted in 2009, but the process was going on. Again in 2016, the names of these four sons of Muhammad Alam were again recorded. Surprising facts start from this point. Muhammad Aslam filed an appeal before Commissioner Ayodhya, and this appeal is pending till today. In this appeal, Commissioner Ayodhya passed an interim stay on 1st of September 2017, not to transfer this land by anyone. In spite of this stay order, this is quite surprising, these four sons of Muhammad Alam executed a sale deed on 20th of November 17 in favor of Harish Pathak and Kusum Pathak. Now, the sale deed is against the injunction order. So as per law, it is void. Now, another aspect of the case is, as it is a waqf property, so Sunni Central Waqf Board has come into picture. And Sunni Central Waqf Board has successfully said that it is a waqf property, it cannot be sold by anyone. The order of Sunni Central Board is dated 27th of April 2018. And an FIR was also lodged by Sunni Central Waqf Board against these four persons and Harish Pathak, Kusum Pathak etc. on 22nd of April 2018 in Ayodhya. And this investigation is going on in this FIR. Nothing has been done till today. Now, out of this land, two sale deeds have been executed. One sale deed was 12,080 worg meter in favor of Kusum Pathak and Harish Pathak on 18th of March in 2 crore, and another was in favor of Ram Janmabhoomi Trust in 8 crore, and that area was 10,370 worg square meter. So this entire land was sold for 18 and 8 26.5 crore. Now amount is separate thing, but the main thing is title. As the property is under dispute, the appeal is still pending, stay order is still there. As per law, as the waqf was created and property was gifted to the waqf in 1924 and waqf was working up to 1994 for about 70 years. Even if these four sons of Muhammad Alam got their name mutated, this entry itself does not create any right in favor or right title, interest or title in favor of these four sons. And appeal is also pending, stay order is also there. So firstly, I will like to say that if some sale deed is being executed in violation of the stay order, the sale deed is void, because of the person executing the sale deed were not having authority to execute the sale deed because of the stay order and because of the property was a Waqf property. The FIR filed by Waqf is already pending. The appeal is already pending, and the right of these four persons is not clear at all. So why these important facts were not inspected by the authorities of the trust or whoever trying to purchase this land, and they have paid the amount of more than 26 crore for this land without going through the title? This is a huge wastage of the money donated by the public at large. This is a public trust. It has been created by the central government under the directions of the Honorable Supreme Court. It is not a private property of any person. The money of the trust cannot be wasted like that. But there seems to be some interest of some persons because of 2-3 names are always coming in every matter. The mayor of Ayodhya. Everywhere he is there. In some document he is at witness. In some सौदे में वो शामिल है. Everywhere the name is of his nephew is there, the name of his near and dear is there. So everywhere his name is coming. And the other name is one trustee, Anil Misra, he is also there. So they are having the knowledge of each and everything, in spite of fact that they are having the knowledge and they are purchasing the land. So they must have net purchased the land. Now, if this land is being required by the trust, then they must have got acquired it by way of the applying the provisions of the Land Acquisition Act, and much less money could have been given because the exemplar are the 2 crore sale deed is there. So at the most double of the amount is to be given and little interest is to be given. So if the same property may be acquired at the cost of about rupees 4 to 4.5 crore, for which they have paid 18.5 crore. In the same way, they have purchased 8 crore, the same property may be acquired in 2 crore only. And as the trust is of the government is helping the trust, it may be acquired immediately. The provisions are there in the Land Acquisition Act that if immediate possession is required, immediate possession may be given after the first notification of the land acquisition. The only difference is that from the date of possession, the government or the acquiring authority has to make a payment of interest. So that doesn't make any difference at all. Amount is to be deposited in the court, and whoever is the owner of the property, amount will be given by that person to the court. Now, who is the owner? Let it be decided by the court itself. So that would have been the safe way to have this property by the trust. But the safe way has not been adopted at all. And this haphazard way has been adopted, and the money of the trust is being wasted. So my view is that all these sale deeds are absolutely void, and they does not give any right title interest to the trust, and disputes had been purchased.
Okay, thank you very much, Advocate Ramesh Kumar Sharma, for giving your views. And according to, I will just highlight, although he has made all the points clear, but 1 or 2 points I would like to highlight. First thing, he says that the title is not clear. And once the title is not clear, how come a trust, which is a public trust, appointed on the direction of the Honorable Supreme Court by the Government of India, can go and purchase any land without a clear title? That is number 1 point he has raised. And he says the ownership is also questionable. And he has given the example of one land where the Waqf board, the land was for the Waqf board, and the Waqf board is still the stay of Commissioner Ayodhya is pending. And in spite of that, the land was, registry was executed. So he says, according to him, all these lands deal which has till now been done by the Ram Janambhoomi, especially these 2-3 deal, are all void, and they should be either treated as a null and void, and they should go for another purchasing of the same land after clearing the title. Or he says the best way is by the government acquisition. Because earlier also, as a report says, that the land was acquired, the earlier land was also acquired by the government of India or the Uttar Pradesh government, whosoever, they acquired and then they have given to the trust. So why they have not acquired the land now? Because I also have a feeling that now, as per the Supreme Court judgment, 5 acres land has to be given to for the mosque. Now that land has to be given by the government. So government the government will buy individually without acquiring, or they will also buy the same way as the trust has purchased. I am sure that they are going to acquire the land and they will give to the. So why they have not acquired? Although the Ram Janambhoomi Trust was already having 70 acres land, and the temple required only 5-acre land. So, but they wanted grand. So they should have asked the government. According to Advocate Ramesh Kumar Sharma, the government acquisition has to be done. Thank you very much, Advocate Ramesh Kumar Sharma. When I will come to in the next round, I will definitely ask some question to you. Now, I would like to invite my next guest, and he is Advocate Puneet Chaturvedi. Advocate Puneet Chaturvedi is advocates and consultants of High Court, Mumbai. He belongs to a family of lawyers for 4 generations since his great-grandfather's time, having associate law offices across India. He has been practicing as an arguing counsel for the last 29 years and regularly appearing in the Supreme Court of India and various high courts across India. He has a distinction of having appeared in almost all the high courts of India. Besides being a practicing lawyer, Advocate Chaturvedi is taking LLM and LLB lectures in the University of Mumbai and other law colleges. He has also been addressing the annual law training lecture series conducted by Bar Council of Maharashtra and Goa on the Constitution of India. Advocate Chaturvedi has been writing legal articles and columns in magazines and websites, besides conducting lectures and workshops on law at several institutions, corporate houses, jails, medical forums, bar associations, etc. His articles and speeches are widely hailed. Welcome, Mr. Advocate Puneet Chaturvedi on our show. Advocate Chaturvedi, you have heard what Advocate Ramesh Kumar Sharma has mentioned. And according to him, all these 2 or 3 sale deeds which are in question are void because the title is not clear. He says that he is not worried about the amount. After all, the decision of the trust is there. So that's money. Now they owns the money, although it's a public money, but now they are the custodian of the money, so they can spend or waste money. That is their outlook. But he says the main thing is the ownership. And according to him, the ownership or the title is not clear. And once the title is not clear, these deeds are the sale transactions are void. So, and he says the best way was that government should have acquired. Now, we would like to know from you your views, the legal views about this Ram Janambhoomi land deal. Advocate Puneet Chaturvedi, please.
Distinguished panel today, and Mr. Lal Goel, the moderator for today. I just heard Mr. Ramesh Sharma's detailed analysis of these land transactions. He's very well informed about the facts of the case, it appears, because I was amazed the way he was quoting the land sizes, the numbers, the amount, the buyer's name, the seller's name, and the list of transactions. I salute to the knowledge of Mr. Ramesh Sharma. He's factually on dot and correct. Having said that, and with due respect to the conclusions drawn by Mr. Ramesh Sharma, I beg to differ on certain points. The first being that we all who are connected to the field of law are aware that, unfortunately, most of the land in India, when I say most, please underline the word most. most of the land in India is under litigation. There's hardly one would find a clear titled land with no dispute, with absolute clean clarity and everything. Although this reflects a very ironical picture of Indian legal system and the Indian laws in respect of lands are concerned. But the fact of the matter remains that had everybody has to wait for a clear title to enter into a land deal, trust me, not a single brick of a construction can happen in India. As I keep traveling across India, and predominantly in Mumbai, where a lot of construction activity in the buildings and the developments and reclamation, etc., keep happening. Trust me, these land disputes and these construction sites and the litigation is a very welcome phenomena for us lawyers, because there's a lot of dispute happening and we keep getting more and more cases in respect of these. Now, the entire construction industry in Mumbai is less on the construction site, more in the courts. Because every deal, every land has so much of pulls and push. 594 years we have waited for this judgment of the Supreme Court, where finally a go-ahead is given for the construction of Ram Mandir. Now, the moot point over here about the dispute of these land deals which trust has entered into, which I do not disagree with Mr. Sharma that yes, these sale deeds may be void or illegal or something. But the question is, who is the complainant? Who's complaining? The rival political parties. Is there any complaint by the people who have entered into this deal? The media is going to each of them and trying to provoke and elicit certain statements against them, and they all are saying, no, 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 no. हमें कोई शिकायत नहीं, हमको हमारा पैसा मिल गया. The question is, assuming that those people who have got unjustly enriched by these void title deeds, as Mr. Sharma has agitated, that they do not have the good title to sell the land, and they got unjustly enriched by entering into a deal and got the money, and therefore they are giving very good bites to the media that yes, yes, we are very happy, there is no complaint, nothing. Assuming this is true. But the fact is that somebody who's affected adversely must have to come forward. Somebody who's adversely affected must go to the court and lodge a proper litigation. Simply by grudging political parties making certain sound bites, ये तो हमारे देश का एक फैशन है. This can go on. And if we keep waiting for everybody to be satisfied, this Ram temple will never be constructed in the next 594 years also. Because as I said, the legal tangles of as far as land is concerned is so poor in India that if every builder of Bombay waits till the clear title of land, he will never be able to construct a single building. He cannot place a single brick. So coming to the moot point, that assuming all these land deals are void, as I'm sure, and I don't want to disagree with Mr. Sharma, because he's factually so right and so precise that there's no question for disagreeing with him. My point of view is a little larger. There is a legal maxim which says and all the lawyers must know this, and we all know that in India, possession is 90%, title is 10% value. The one who is in the possession of the land is considered to be 90% owner, whether he has the relevant papers or not, or the title, deeds, good, bad, whatever. The person who's on the possession of the land is the king. And he welcomes any litigation. You keep litigating for 20 years, 25 years, 30, 40, whatever. I'm in possession. And trust me, 90% of the matter are decided in the favor of the possessor. Forget about the ownership dispute. Here is even the tenant landlord dispute also. The person who's in possession is tenant. And we all know how tenancy is tilted in favor, the whole tenancy law is tilted in favor of tenants. Therefore, when it is quite clear that this trust is not a private trust, it is being formed by the government of India, first and foremost. Second, it is being monitored by the Supreme Court of India. The transactions are happening, the money transactions are happening online, not a single penny in the cash has been transacted. भ्रष्टाचार का आरोप लगाना और उसे सिद्ध करने में बहुत बड़ा फर्क होता है। हमारे देश में आरोप लगाना तो फैशन है। मेरी श्रीमती जी मेरे ऊपर 15-20 आरोप पर डे लगाती है। आपने ये नहीं खाया, आपने दवाई नहीं खाई, आपने पानी नहीं पिया, आपने टाइम पे भोजन नहीं किया। अरे भाई ठीक है, बहुत सारी चीजें। Similarly, these political parties having grudges keep on shouting this, that. If they have so much of substance in their allegations, I wish they should go to the courts of India. And today I do not want to cross the time limit before Mr. Lal Goyal stops me. I do not know whether I have exhausted my time or not. I stop here and I'll wait.
Yes, definitely. Thank you very much, Advocate Puneet Chaturvedi, for giving your views. And I will just highlight few of the views. What he has said is, he differs with Advocate Sharma. Clearly, he says, although give full respect of his knowledge and the work he has done, and he has got all the details. But what he says is that in India, mostly all the lands are under dispute. Mostly, he highlighted the word. I am again repeating the same word. So according to him, they are all disputed lands in India. So clear title, you will not get anywhere. So, and the media is just highlighting it because some opposition party has put the complaint, and there is no complaint by the affected party. According to the affected parties, are the buyer or the seller. Okay, so this is his position. And he says, as per the law or what we have seen in the past, 90%, if you have a possession of a land legally or illegally, you are the owner of 90%. The law gives you the weightage and the 10% only to the owner. So basically, the possessor, whosoever is having who is having a possession of a land, he is deemed to be owner and he can execute the sale deed anywhere in India. So there is no question of illegality in this, according to Advocate Chaturvedi. And he says, if we are going to find these types of minor things, 10, 15, 20 crores is nothing, very small amount. Transaction, everything has been done by the online. So he says, then if it is like this, then the Ram Janambhoomi cannot be constructed for next 594 years. So let it go. We should not make a small thing in a very big thing. And media, according to him, the media is creating. So again, this is the easiest way to blame the media. But anyway, our thing is that we have to bring the views whatsoever they are saying. I think you want to say something, Advocate Chaturvedi. You want to correct me.
I just want to clarify. I never blame media. I said opposition parties.
Opposition parties.
I respect media very much.
But you said that. Okay. No. I am not that media. But yes, thank you very much, Advocate Puneet Chaturvedi, for giving a very, very clear his standing. Now I am going to a political analyst. He is Mr. Rakesh Kumar Jha. He is the civil services coach. He is the managing director of Discourse Academy, Delhi. He motivates and gives interview guidance to UPSC aspirants. He is visiting faculty of political science, general studies, and English language at different reputed institutes. He is doing talk shows for All India Radio, Akashvani, New Delhi. He is called upon by various media organizations to participate as an expert for their live shows on various national and international issues. He conducted and moderated several seminars, including national seminars in the World Book Fair 2016, New Delhi, by National Book Trust, Government of India. He has published several books and written articles which were published in reputed publications. He is co-author of India-Mauritius Bilateral Relationship Recent Initiative. Welcome, Mr. Rakesh Kumar Jha on our show. Mr. Rakesh Kumar Jha, you have heard two very, very senior advocates. One was very clear that these land deals are void. Other says whether it is void or not void, but we should not create any hurdle now for the Ram Janambhoomi temple, which everybody wants to be constructed. So he says, let's overlook it and let's move forward. You being a political analyst, I know where you are leaning towards which side, but I want your impartial view today. According to you, as Advocate Puneet Chaturvedi says, that the opposition is creating unnecessary holla for this. Now, what are your views about this land deal, about the Ram Janambhoomi land deal? Mr. Rakesh Kumar Jha, please.
Yeah, good morning to everyone, and Mr. Sharma and Chaturvedi sir, Mr. Misraji. You know, Mr. Goyal Sahab, because this is a political allegation, I have to say, because if it is legally, wide and all that, we all of us know that as Honorable Sharma sir and even Chaturvedi sir has told everything in a very categorical way, that is very true. But as far as it is the allegation and hue and cry is concerned in the political domain, that is for sure that most of the allegations are made by the political parties and especially oppositions who are against the BJP. And if I say that Aam Aadmi Party and sub these are the people they are making the hue and cry, so they have to go to the court because every facts and figures are there before the public domain that we all of us know through the newspapers, magazines, and TV channels, and even we are discussing right now. And it is a very important topic because it is all about the purchasing a land piece by the trust or by any person. So if any transparency is concerned, then definitely that is the lack of there. But as far as the money is concerned, everything the land scams and lots of allegations, the ED, CBI. I mean, what is the use of these all tools and all institutions to come up for the land deal? If it is wide, then that will be cancelled. But at the same time, if the political party is making time and again that no, this is the scams are public money is being wasted, everything is out there, because that even in the small city, I am 100% agree to Mr. Chaturvedi sir and even Sharma sir, even a small city, that piece of a paper is cost like 1 lakh rupees, and that land is basically sold more than 1 lakh rupees, like 20 lakhs and 30 lakhs. I mean to say, that goes up to many fold and also that we have to also understand that if it is technically 2 crore rupees of land and that has been sold up to 18 lakhs or the 7 lakhs, it all depends between the party and the seller and buyer. I mean to say, it is the agreement between the seller and buyer, even in the Mumbai and the cities and everywhere that happens, So I mean to say that it is the main concern is the trust, and main concern is the astha of the person. I mean the whole Indian, that how the temple would be constructed, and if it is legally it is wide or legally it is incorrect, then definitely it will be the cancel. That is not an issue. But at the same time, because the election is coming, why I am a political analyst, what I am saying to that, because election is coming, that's why it is going to be one of the most important cases and most important issues before the political parties to polarize the vote. And that's why the all political parties are doing in those course of actions, and that's why it can be one of the strategies among them. But I feel that definitely if any wrong things are there, that would be taken by the Honorable High Courts of Allahabad or the respective courts of Allahabad. At the same time, the administrator who were involved in this all doing sort of things, they had to also look after these malpractices, and that was a real gross mistake by the concerning authorities, whoever, maybe it is the tehsil level or the district magistrate or any collector level or whoever or competent, the authorities were there. So that is the missing point. Yes, I do agree, but the main point is that it is the political, who you and cry, and that should not be taken as much as that way, because in the legal way. So that's my
Okay.
point. But
Okay.
at the
Thank.
same thing, in the last,
Mm.
but it is not the list, that after all we have to all are legally bound, and if anything is wrong, then the parties should go to the court and they should take care of that, all these things. So that's my point of view, sir.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you very much, Mr. Rakesh Kumar Jha. You have given a very balanced view or diplomatic view or a politically corrected view, that you have not taken either the side of Advocate Ramesh Kumar Sharma or Advocate Puneet Chaturvedi. And you say that if it is a wrong thing, deal has been done, then the legal law should take its own course, which is a very, very common phrase whenever there is such type of deals comes. Anyway, but what advocate, what Mr. Rakesh Kumar Jha has said, one is it's a political allegation. It's an election time in UP, so they want to take the advantage of these types of scandals or scams. If there is something, they should have filed a case in the court. Let the law will take its own course. Okay, well, thank you very much, Mr. Rakesh Kumar Jha, about your views. Definitely, when I will come, I will definitely ask a question to you. Now, my next panelist, I am going is Mr. Srijan Mishra. Mr. Srijan Mishra is a presently research assistant at Maharashtra National Law University in Nagpur. He completed his LLM in Energy and Telecommunication Laws, National Law University Nagpur, and BA LLB honors from National Law University and Judicial Academy, Assam. He is also pursuing his PhD from Maharashtra National Law University Nagpur in the field of narcotic laws and education policy. Mr. Srijan has participated and presented papers at several national and international conferences. He has also attended and participated in international events like Critical Legal Conference organized by University of Kent, University Kingdom in 2016, World Intellectual Property Organization India Summer School in 2017, and the William C. Wyss versus International Commercial Arbitration Moot Vienna in the year 2018. He also has experience of closely working with the Center for Child Rights at National Law University Assam as volunteer, and has been involved in organizing many national conferences and capacity building programs. Welcome, Mr. Srijan Mishra, on our show. Mr. Srijan Mishra, you have heard two senior advocates, Advocate Ramesh Kumar Sharma as well as Advocate Puneet Chaturvedi. You have also heard the political analyst, Mr. Rakesh Kumar Jha. You being although you are fully qualified in law, but you are not practicing, so we cannot call you as advocate, but you are an academician right now because you are pursuing PhD in the law only. My not question, but I want your views on the Ram Janambhoomi land deal. Mr. Srijan Mishra, please.
Good morning. Thank you so much, Mr. Lal, for having respected senior panelists. And I've been listening to all three of them, and I think that I would agree to the all opinions from all of them to some extent, because this Ram Janambhoomi judgment, since the judgment has come in, we have seen number of people talking about the historical stance of the Supreme Court, and not many people have taken it in the positive way that they should have been. But as far as these charges are concerned, and I think we have to see that from where the genesis of the charges are started. So these are the two political parties who've taken way too much interest in this land deals, and have been constantly putting on questions on the whole trust issues. And as far as the Waqf property is concerned, like Sharma sir has pointed out, I think there was also a statement made by Mr. Sultan Ansari that they did get a letter from the Tehsil itself stating that the property is not Waqf property, and thus they went ahead with with the deed itself. So I think there are a lot of questions to be answered here, but we cannot deny the fact that the whole situation, which is whatever is being created by keeping in mind the elections of the UP in 2022, and which is a major factor here, because it's just not Ram temple, but it's sentiment of people that is involved, and it's just a religious sentiment that is involved. There's somewhere the factor of polarization is also into picture. So the fact that there is some dispute, I would not deny the fact, whatever Sharma sir has stated, that the historically, if we see the four brothers coming into picture and filing FIR and claiming in 2017, I guess they went to the Waqf board also to make sure that the property is Waqf property or not. But in the end, before this, even I'm not getting into the factor that what amount was there, how much land was there. The expansion trust has already said that they want to expand from 70 acre land to 105 or 107 acre land. So they're acquiring lands and different patches of lands now. So I think they will definitely have such kind of problem in future land acquisitions also, because like Shri Chaturvedi said that not many piece of land you'll find in India where there's a clear title altogether, which is a fact, I think. And also that when we talk about this particular issue, we cannot take it away from the political angle how much ever we want to, because there are a number of people who've been pointing out fingers initially has to be seen, and there's specific two political parties which have taken much interest in it, and that is how this whole issue evolved. And both have somewhere their political interest in the playground of UP elections as well. So as far as that is concerned, this is a major issue, because we cannot really go ahead with it without getting into the legal aspect. While we talk about whether the property is work or not. But as of now, no party has approached the court stating, both the parties, that they have a problem with the deed, whatever happened. And also one factor that the online transaction is a major thing. The trust has already cleared it, that whatever transaction happened, the advance payment of 17 crore was done through RTGS, and it is all public record. So I think there is no cash transaction. So as far as the graft charges are concerned, I think the trust has made it clear that they have no wrong intentions as such, and this is not a private trust, as has already been discussed. So I think the chances of the graft charges, whatever have been levied upon, are very politically motivated, and media has been running around after people to ask them questions and want a statement out of them. But the parties involved here have not even moved to court as of now, and whatever dispute was there, and whatever the additional commissioner at that point of time gave out an order, the Tehsil has clarified that it is not a Waqf land. So I think whatever different patches have been taken into picture now, and they are just going around about it, and rather not concentrating on the point that it's not even about whether the temple would be made or not, because temple definitely would be constructed, and whatever the trust is doing to make sure that temple gets constructed would obviously have some repercussions, because some sections were not happy politically, saying the same thing. So as far as the legal thing is concerned, I'm sure that whatever the issues are, until unless one of the party moves to the court with a substantive argument, I don't think we'll be able to reach to a conclusion as far as what the legal issues are. But as far as the political aspect is concerned, I'm sure that this is all political motivated, and the trust has given out very clear worded statements that the deeds are there, the paperwork is there, everyone is free to access them, and I think it's more of a political motivated rather than a legal issue.
Okay. Thank you very much, Mr. Sajan Mishra. He also agreed with Mr. Rakesh Kumar Jha, or as well as Advocate Chaturvedi, that it's a motivated move. It's not been done by the opposition party, so it has nothing to do. So according to Mr. Sajan Mishra, legally, it might be faulty, but there is nothing wrong, because it's a matter of astha. And when the astha is there, we should go ahead. We have to create the temple. We have to. We should not leave. And he also made two things very important. One is he also blamed the media. That media is creating and manufacturing the news about this and asking the questions so that the questions may come against this deal. As well as he said, the online payment has been made. I will just say online payment means when the Bofors case came, all the payments were made online. There were no cash was paid, and it was raised. And I think at that time also, why the people have not said that it was raised by the opposition party. The question is money. After all, this belongs to us. We all donated. It's a very much all the Astha. We all have full Astha, but it doesn't mean that anyone is authorized to loot us. Anyway, thank you very much, Mr. Srijan Mishra. And I would like to now put some questions. I have now good time. So I want that you can take your own time, but give the straight answers to my straight question. My first question goes to Advocate Ramesh Kumar Sharma. Advocate Ramesh Kumar Sharma, you have heard what Advocate Chaturvedi has mentioned, and he is very categorically, although he praised you, that is always I have seen in the court generally, once the opposite advocate start praising somebody, it means now he's going to put his point in a very, very sharp way. But he says, whatsoever it is done, why no affected party has come? Affected party should have come. My point is, like I have mentioned about Bofors, the government of India has paid, government of Sweden or whosoever they have received the money, or the Bofors have received the money. Neither the Bofors have made a complaint, nor the government of India has made a complaint. Why you or I or the media, I means the media, or the opposition parties have any problem in this? And let the money is now with the trust. Why you are worried? One. Secondly, my question to you is, fine, it has not been filed. Why the Supreme Court, who is the custodian and who is the supervising as per the Advocate Chaturvedi, they monitored by Supreme Court, and on their direction trust was formed. Why they have closed the eyes? Why they have not taken the suo moto? After all, if any trustee, after all, trustees are not Lord Ram, they are not God, they are among us. If they are looting money of the hard-earned money, everybody donated. I'm sure you and me, everybody has donated the money. If anybody donate the money, it's purely cheating. But according to Advocate Chaturvedi, Advocate Mr. Srijan Mishra, nothing. Astha is more. Please don't create any hurdle. So are you creating hurdle, Advocate Ramesh Kumar Sharma, by giving all these details?
Mr. Goyal, first I have to specify one thing, that our Honorable Supreme Court has given the judgment and it has become totally functions officer thereafter. No supervising work is being done by the Supreme Court at all. Nothing is pending today before the Honorable Supreme Court, either the suo moto or on any application of any of the party. So no one is supervising. Second thing, that the affected person may challenge the transaction. See, who is the affected person? Number one, with regard to the Najul land, it is a government land. If the government land has been illegally sold, government is affected. Government should do it. If government is not doing it, it is a illegal act on the part of the government itself. Public can also say that the government should do it. Media is doing it, government is not performing its part. Second part, with regard to the work property, the affected person has already filed the appeal in 2017 before the Ayodhya Commissioner. The appeal is still pending. The stay order is already there. Suppose that appeal is allowed, it is being held that all these four persons of Muhammad Alam are not the owner of the property. The entire, all the sale deeds thereafter gone and waste. They are void. Proceedings are already there. Nothing is to be filed. Then other point, Waqf Board. Waqf Board has already filed an FIR against the persons executing the sale deed, and investigation is still pending. So the affected person who is Waqf Board, they have also filed the FIR, it is pending. The affected person of Muhammad Aslam, he has preferred the appeal, which is also pending. Costings are still pending, they have to be decided. Now, with regard to the fact that temple is to be constructed, definitely it is to be constructed. It is a public money, definitely it is a public money. Hurdle should not be created, and it is a political hue and cry. we should not give any importance to any statement of the political parties. But when the public trust is there, it is the foremost duty of the trustees to not to waste the trust money, which is the public money. This is clearly a wastage of the trust money. Why they have not checked the title of the person? And if the property is needed, this land, if it is needed for the public purpose, it may be acquired. And that too in a very less money. Why that safe procedure has not been adopted by the trust? This creates a doubt. If the transaction has been taken place by when 17 crore had been transferred by your RTGS, the same money can be come back in cash or in kind anyway. There is no problem. It is happening daily, I say. We say daily that money is coming back. So transaction has gone by way of bank. It does not mean that there is no mischief at all.
Okay.
Transaction
Okay.
has to go by way of bank only.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, Advocate Ramesh Kumar Sharma. According to you, online transaction has no value, or value means have value, but it is happening. We have seen, I am sure Advocate Chaturvedi, I am coming to him, and Advocate Chaturvedi knows he is in Mumbai. Many places, the circle rate is higher than the actual price, but the payment has to be made as per the circle rate, and then the transactions has been done underhand. Everybody knows now. Earlier it was in the different way. Now it is in different way. The more money paid and then money is taken back. Now my question to you, Advocate Chaturvedi, is generally if I want to buy anything, as per the Supreme Court judgment, buy beware. Some advocates always tell buyer beware, something like that. Here the buyer is trust. There is procedure when I want to buy even a small place, they says do a 50 years or 60 years search, whether it was conducted or not. I was always advised by the advocates, please publish a advertisement in the newspaper, whether it was done or not, or in the 5 minutes time, the transaction from 2 crores have raised to 18.5 crores. Although Advocate Ramesh Kumar Sharma said we are not bothered for the money, surplus money, Hindu Dharam, we are Hindus, we have surplus money, we can waste our money. It's not the question of Astha. My question is what Advocate Sharma has said, tomorrow if it was proved this is a government land and it's supposed to be void, now what remedy the government have to demolish it? Would we like that it can be demolished? And or according to Advocate Chaturvedi, are you saying that Lord Rama is bigger than Lord Krishna or Lord Hanuman? So we can demolish others' temple, but we cannot touch even a piece, although it's not under the temple. The land is different. Some museum or some library or some restaurant might be, or dharmshala might be there. But not a single brick can be removed from there. Then everybody will say, no, it's an attack on us, on our Hindu Dharma. Why not correct it right now? Why not punish those fellows who have minted our money, looted our money? After all, it's not a thing that 2 crores can become 18.5 crores, as well as the land which doesn't belongs to you, you can sell it. And if you are saying 90% possession is me, tomorrow I will take a forcible possession. And I think the recent judgment of a Supreme Court is, even if it's illegal, if it's a trespasser, he has to be there, he will be termed as a possessor. So if I'm a possessor, I will sell that document. And one more thing, when this search was not done, how come the trustees who are a prominent trustees, that government officials, retired IAS officers, a very, very senior legal luminary, they can't say, after all, they are trustees. And I was told legally that if anything goes wrong, you have to make all the trustees as party. Do you think they feel that no one can touch us because Lord Ram is with us? So tomorrow, if I want to encroach any property, I will just place one temple there or try to build a temple, and then I will say, this is my land. Advocate Chaturvedi, we want some clarification, because what you said is disturbing at least me. I don't know what about the viewers, that is your view, but whether it is legally sustainable, please, because we want a legal view on this. Politically, that's always there. West Bengal, we have seen how they were fighting. Now everything is normal. Now it is coming to UP, and we will see this drama for next 6 months till the February. But the question is, legally, we are asking, according to you, that what trust has done legally right or not? No 50-year search, no advertisement, nothing, and in 5 minutes transaction is done. Advocate Puneet Chaturvedi, please.
उफ, इतना बड़ा क्वेश्चन है कि मैं तो भूल ही गया कि मुझे आंसर क्या करना है। पहली बात क्लैरिफाई कर दूं, मैंने आस्था की बात ही नहीं की, आपने किसी और के वर्ड्स मेरे ऊपर कर दिए।
I'm sorry.
I did not talk about
Okay.
आस्था and all. I
Okay.
talked purely legal. अब मैं आपको कुछ उदाहरण दे देता हूं आपके व्यूअर्स को जो डिस्टर्ब हो गए मेरे व्यूज से, but my views are my views and they are pure legal. Be practical, Mr. Goyal, and let your audience be practical. We all are knowing that there was a very, very highlighted case of Coca-Cola building in Worli, Mumbai. Up to Supreme Court, the matter was lost. That this is an illegal building. All the residents living there are illegal. What happened? I'm very, very practically talking about law. Please do not find that my views are other than law. I'm a practicing lawyer, practicing every day, appearing in the courts and dealing with land matters day in, day out. What is the legal position? Most of the views of Mr. Sharma, with due respect to him, are hypothetical. कल ये हो गया तो, परसों वो हो गया तो, अरे जब होगा तब देखा जाएगा। कोका कोला बिल्डिंग है ना हमारे सामने, तो राम मंदिर भी रहेगा। किस रेजिडेंट बिल्डिंग को आज तक सुप्रीम कोर्ट से हारने के बाद भी आप इवैक्यूएट कर पाते हैं?
Advocate Chaturvedi, although I'm not supposed to interfere, but one building recently in Kerala, it was demolished by the order of Supreme Court recently, last month or 2 months back.
I am not aware of that.
Okay, I will send you the
Very
news.
well, please.
Yeah, please do. Go ahead.
May I add one thing? Supreme Court
No,
is
please.
directed in Faridabad, Haryana.
Sorry?
Entire colony, Faridabad, Haryana. Entire colony has been demolished. Entire colony.
Recently.
Recently, yes, last month. Entire colony
Has been demolished.
Point given. There is no debate between me and Mr. Sharma. And point given. I surrender. There is no question. I'm just simply highlighting that what you are talking, Kerala building or Faridabad, are exceptions in law. How many times it happens? Is it the rule? They may be happening. I do not disagree. Whatever the facts of the case, I'm not aware. But these are exceptions. यहाँ पर देश में हमारे, अगर आप टाइटल क्लियरेंस के लिए वेट करते रहेंगे, अगले 50 साल तक क्लियर नहीं होगा. What Mr. Sharma has said, that there is already a stay, there is some commissioner's court has given something. Is this the ultimate court? Let the commissioner decide that against trust, and if the party who's affected, let go to the court, and the trust will go to a higher court. In the next 50 years, the courts will take consuming all the time. Can you wait for next 50 years to construct this? Already I have been made aware by the media that there is a vision 2051 given. जहां पे ना मैं रहूंगा ना आप रहेंगे, पता नहीं कब ये अयोध्या बनेगा. लेकिन अगर 2051 का एज इट इज भी अगर विजन है, तो अगर ये लैंड डिस्प्यूट्स में चले जाएंगे, तो मुझे नहीं लगता कि 51 तक भी ये कुछ होने वाला है. There's nothing. Now, see, you have to have a practical. One point which is highlighted by you, which I understood was a question, that only a money transaction from one side to the other is not the sanctity, and there are chances of under table return of the money. I agree, this may happen, but who will raise this? You will have to keep monitoring the bank account of every trustee, that कितना पैसा वापस आ रहा है, किसके account कौन enrich हो रहा है, who is getting. I mean, you may be having several phenomena. See, I'll just complete my point of view by giving you an anecdote. That a painter went to a king, that I painted your picture in 1 year. The king did not know the value of the painting. So he said, put it on the crossing with a caption, if there is something wrong, point out. By the evening, the picture was not to be seen. There was only mistakes. The painter got so disheartened, he was going to commit suicide, where a wise man met him and asked him what happened. And he suggested that wise man gave him a suggestion, paint another picture by next morning and give it. He said, I painted in last 1 year. There were so many mistakes. One night picture will be of no value. The wise man said, just do what I'm saying. He agreed, went to the king again by painting in one night the picture and said that, Millard, I just want this painting to be put into the crossing, but the caption will be written by me. Correct if there is any mistake. By the evening, the picture was as it is. Nobody wants to correct. So, pointing mistakes is the easiest. So by that, I sum up to give option to the other speakers.
Okay.
also.
Okay. Thank you very much, Advocate Chaturvedi. You have given good examples. I'm sure that viewers are enriching, because that is our purpose. We want to hear from the experts. They are experts. But my role is to ask the questions so that they can come out and give their real legal views, which they are giving. Now, my question goes to Mr. Rakesh Kumar Jha. Mr. Rakesh Kumar Jha, you said, I think you said about Astha. Is it correct?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. Now you said about Astha. My question is very clear. Astha, yes, we all want the temple should come. We all are praying. We all are, and it's not Hindus. I am sure even the Muslims in the country and the Christians and the Sikhs, they all are with all of the Hindus. There is no doubt about it. But the question is coming when there is a iota of doubt, when something has come and where the documents are in front, everyone, why not a single inquiry has started? My point of view is, when I can give a very small example. Somebody has said that I have paid 4 crore rupees or 100 crore rupees to somebody. Immediately the ED and the CBI rushed there. Here, we are seeing something. Ask somebody, ask your agencies, CBI or ED, raid the fellow, check up where the money has gone, like Advocate Chaturvedi rightly said, where the money trail has gone. Now, we can't say, no one else can check up except the national investigating agencies. They have the power. Let it be. After all, दूध का दूध, पानी का पानी होना चाहिए, Mr. Jha, or not? Or do you think even on these charges, when the temple will be built, our Lord Ram will be happy or not? Because a question of Astha.
Yeah, Mr. Goyal, there are, different angles. I have not only pinpointed the only Astha, the faith that you have narrated, and because when you go by the history, you can see a lot of books have been there. It is Hobbes, Leviathan, or the J.S. Mill, Liberty. If you go by Republic by Plato, Aristotle, Cordelia, Arthashastra, Machiavelli's Prince, lots of things, lots of books have been written. Because that is the different issue. That's why I have been categorically saying that there are two issues. The first issue, the legal issues. That legal issues should be taken in a very serious note, and that is the duty of the claimant and the opposition people who are suffered, and they can go to the court. The second part is the Astha. Astha means the people who have a great Astha before the Ram and before the temple also. So if some lands are acquired by the trust or the persons to beautify the city, to beautify and to glorify the place, that is also the duty of the country or the countryman to cooperate with, because it has been the subjugated for more than 500 years. So again, more than 500 or 200 years it will go and all. So this chapter should be closed, because it is the tendency of the Indian media or the Indian political parties or intelligentsia that we have to stuck with a point, and if it is anything incorrect, that has to be rectified. That I am agree that if it is legally void or wrong, it has to be rectified within a time frame.
Okay.
So there are two things that I want to make. just concluding that the Astha should be there also, but at the same time, not at the cost of legal views. So that's my point.
Okay,
sir.
okay.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Mr. Rakesh Kumar Jha. You are totally right that Astha is there, but we should have a clear things legally so that tomorrow no one can doubt. We are only doubting because it has coming in the media day and night. But so that's why. Now my question goes to Mr. Srijan Mishra. Mr. Srijan Mishra, you also mentioned about that these types of things, and you agreed that Astha. You have also. My question to you is first question, is this public trust or not? If yes, whatsoever money that this trust has been collected will be treated as a public money or it will be treated as a private money? Mr. Srijan Mishra, just reply me pointedly, then I will have a counter question further.
Yes, I'll just like to state one thing that I in nowhere, that by no
Haji.
chance I mean that because of the faith or Astha, we should slide away the corruption.
Okay.
In nowhere that I mean that. And as far as public and private trust is concerned, yeah, definitely it is a public trust and people have donated money. It's our money and we have all the right to question whatever action the trust is taking.
So basically it is a public money like in bank where we are putting the money, our own money, and so it terms as a public money. There, all the investigating agencies, everything can come and file a case and arrest everything. Correct?
Certainly.
Certainly. So when this is the question, why it is not been treated that some allegations have come. Forget the person who is forget whether Samajwadi Party or AAP. We are not interested in those persons. An allegation has come because you know very well today situation is not that anyone can raise the easily the any objection. Two reasons. One is definitely the Astha is so big, people will not tolerate if you will ask any question to anybody. Secondly, the atmosphere is such. Tomorrow, like I cannot confirm, but there are media reports that some cases have been filed who has raised these types of questions. My point to you is, when this is the thing, why not a case to be filed by either the Supreme Court should have taken suo motu, which they have not taken. They should have taken. High Court should have done, although they are very proactive in many cases, but they have not done. Government should come out. Time is there, 6 months. You are also saying election time. It's in February. So we have almost 6-7 months. Government can conduct the inquiry, proper inquiry, not a eyewash in 2 days or 1 day. No, everything is fine. A proper inquiry where they should show the money trail. Like in other cases, they are showing all the money trail, how the so and so has collected the money, how the money has been paid to by the police or the bar people and bar people to the police inspector and the police inspector to the minister, PAS, etc. So the trail is always there, as Advocate Puneet Chaturvedi has suggested. How much time it will take? Hardly 1 day to check the trail. It will not take much time. Take out the trail, put it in the public domain and say chapter is closed. Now, no, as far as what Advocate Ramesh Kumar Sharma has objected about the Waqf thing, but government should acquire. He says, okay, fine, whether it is Waqf or not Waqf, we are acquiring, and ask those fellows who have taken the money, so much money, illegally raising the money. It is wrong. After all, it's a matter of faith. In my opinion, if I want, I must say that anybody selling a land or anything to the for this trust, it should be without any profit. After all, so many years have taken for just that Ram Lalla will get a place. Don't you think that this is the right way, not the right way that we will pay the more money and we say, no, the temple should not be stopped. The person who is doing it, they should come, the civil society should come and say, no, we will not charge anything extra, even in the construction. What do you say about this?
Absolutely, Mr. Lal. I mean, I'll agree to that a proper inquiry is to be done, because as of now, both the parties are giving out, factual information, and both are saying that we have got documents. For example, for the Waqf property, one party says that this is a Waqf property. On the other hand, Mr. Ansari stated that the Tahsildar has written that this is not a Waqf property. So it's just more about questioning each other's document. And right now, I think that would be very, would not be very prudent if someone says that, that temple should not be stopped and inquiry should not be done. Because if there's something, after all, it is public money, and it is about 140 billion people of the nation who are who have donated money of 3,200 crores, and it is not a small amount. So definitely there is some accountability there, and the government should come forward and clear all the doubts, because after all, it's just not about faith. Also, it's about responsibility as well in the picture.
Okay. Thank you very much. So today, viewers, you have seen the legal conditions and legality and even the faith, and we are in between the faith and legal. We all knows that this temple has to be built. There is no doubt about it, and it's going to be constructed. But those small hiccups which are coming should be removed as early as possible without any problem. If government is not involved, which is not involved, if the trust is not involved, it might be that one or two individuals might be minting money or earning money, if at all, as per the allegations. Let it be. Or if nobody is earning money, it should come clear in the public domain, so that tomorrow when anyone enter in that temple, he should have no doubt that this temple foundation, there were some controversies, and it will go in history. Not today, because all these things which are going, clarification should also come tomorrow, after 100 or 200 or 300 years after that generation should not say that somebody has done this wrong thing, what we are saying today. And as far as one more point to advocate Mr. Srijan Mishra about the Tehsildar has given a letter. Somebody has given a letter to Vijay Mallya also, and that's why he has got the Nirav Modi, and they got the clearance and their passport, everything. So we don't believe on this Tehsildar or even the collector or anybody. We have to believe on the judiciary or the clearance by the highest court of the land. Thank you very much. So thank you very much, and thank you all the viewers. Yes, Advocate Chaturvedi.
वो एक गाना है, कुछ तो लोग कहेंगे, लोगों का काम है कहना।
Yes,
तो अगर हम कहने सुनने में लगे रहे तो कभी कुछ निर्माण कार्य हो नहीं पाएगा।
लेकिन somebody says that वो Caesar wife should be above the suspicion. Some saying is there. So thank you very much. Yeah, thank you very much. So today's program has been live telecasted by V4 News, Global TV, V4 Stream, Malnadu TV India, NewsGaon se, Samvad Sarokar News, Bharat Post News, as well as for show live on Facebook and YouTube. And our endeavor is to bring to you everyday new topic. But for last more than 1.5 months, we are doing an evening show, basically in Hindi, but many times the achiever is in English. That is a show for half an hour called Kal Aaj Aur Kal Lal Goyal Ke Sang. And this show is basically introducing you for those persons who have achieved in their life. So we want to hear from there about their life journey. And today's achiever for Kal Aaj Aur Kal Lal Goyal Ke Sang, the chief guest is CA Dr. V. Gopalan, BCom, FCA, ACMA, ACS, PhD, Promoter Director, Janhar Management Consultancy, and proprietor of Gopalan and Associate Chartered Accountant, Chennai. He is joining. Definitely, he is going to speak in English. So I will be asking questions about his life journey. So please tune in today at 4:30 p.m. for Kal Aaj Aur Kal Lal Goyal Ke Sang. Thank you very much, Advocate Ramesh Kumar Sharma. Thank you very much, Advocate Puneet Chaturvedi. Thank you very much, Mr. Rakesh Kumar Jha. And thank you very much, Mr. Srijan Mishra, for enlightening us and giving a very, very clear thoughts to all the viewers of our who are watching our show. And thank you all the viewers for watching our show. Thank you very much.